It was only a matter of time before we got my favourite 0.0 drink on, Guinness. Needs no introduction. I'm pretty sure everyone in the world must have heard of Guinness. Maybe not so much 0.0, but it is an exceptional stout, an exceptional alcohol-free drink. So let's review it. So before we get into the drinking, just a quick 2 seconds about the scoring system. 5 categories, you can get up to 10 in each one, so out of 10 for look, smell, taste, mouthfeel, price, and the big one at the end, would I buy it again? And needs no introduction, the one, the only Guinness. And probably 80% of the time I have a 0.0 drink, it's going to be Guinness. It really is exceptional. I remember when it first came out, it was still nice, but not as nice. And I've heard from many sources that every quarter since it came out, they have pretty much just revamped the drink, tweaked the recipe, made it better. And I really think it's at the stage now where it's just pretty exceptional. You can get it everywhere. You can kind of get it on tap, you know, they get the nitro cans, I think it is, and there's kind of like a fake tap and they pour your drink, but really, really is an amazing drink, and it's perfect for me when I'm out and I just want one or two. I'll get into the pouring. Pressure's on this one, of course. Guinness is notoriously hard to pour, and I've got my favourite Guinness glass. Had this from my actual normal drinking days, and it's always there. I normally use it for juice or when I have one of these. I'm going to go for the pour I was taught from a barmaid about 2 years ago, and there we go. As I always say, I've only got one can of each, so this is take one, and we can only have take one. Oh, I love that noise. It's not too bad. Not too bad. Should have added pour as the category. I'm not going to try and split the G either. It's a bit cheesy. It wouldn't be too hard either on this with it being about 2 millimeters away. But I'll also maybe commit a sin as well by not letting it settle for, is it 127 seconds I think you need to let it settle for. But it looks pretty settled there. But I mean, look at that. What an appetizing drink. Like I say, I couldn't nail 6, 7 or 8 of them, but if I'm going to meet a friend or something, or I've got visitors to Edinburgh and they want to go to the pub and have a drink, you know, everyone loves the old school pubs in Edinburgh and around the UK as well. This is what I would choose. Just 1 or 2 of these. Absolutely perfect. Just smells exactly like the real thing, in my humble opinion, of course. I do know people that have tried this who regularly, struggled with that word, regularly drink normal Guinness, as in like the non-alcohol, well, the alcohol stuff, and they think it's too watery. So, but I'll give it a taste. Tasted it many a time before, so I know what to expect. It's honestly excellent. It really is. I can't really fault it for a drink. I used to drink a lot of Guinness back in the day. Again, only a couple because it would just fill me up. And this is just a kind of, as a replacement drink. It's just really, really, really good. It looks good, tastes amazing, smells nice, and it looks so cool in the proper Guinness glass. I really need to up my Guinness glass game, I think, but I've had this one for years and there's a bit of attachment there, but let's get to the scores. So I've had a couple of sips as usual after I turned the camera off. I want to get a bit of me time with the drinks after I've had the taste, you know, gather my thoughts, etc. And on look, I would definitely give it a 9.5. I think no matter where you go in the world, if you're sitting there with a Guinness, it looks pretty cool. It really does look perfect. I've seen some amazing Guinness glasses as well, some of the vintage old school ones. I really need to get one myself, but looks definitely a 9.5. On the smell, probably just a solid 8. A lot of good memories from smelling Guinness, I think, and from the 0.0, of course. it just really is a, just pleasant to smell. And then, of course, you've got the taste, and I would give it a 9.5. I do notice the taste from when it first came out to now. Not saying that, I could go through all the versions and notice the taste, but there's a significant improvement from when Guinness 0.0 first came out to this one. It really is quite incredible, and it's an amazing alternative from the real thing. And then the mouthful as well. It's just really easy to drink. It just seems to glide down your throat. Not a good thing if you're on the normal stuff, of course, because you'll end up steaming even quicker. But, I think any occasion just sitting there and drinking this is just, it would just glide down. It's just always reminds me of being on holidays and sitting with friends. So, yeah, Guinness 0.0's got a bit of a special place in my heart. And then the price, noted it down a few different places here. I think the cheapest you can get is £5.45 for 4 cans. That's the 440ml ones. And then you normally get 10 packs from around £12. You can pretty much find it anywhere in the world, I believe. I think seems everywhere I've been, it's been in the fridge, especially in Irish pubs abroad or in general pubs here. And it just really is, I think for that price, you've got to give it a solid 9.5, because what, £1.20 a can. Appreciate it's mass produced, so a lot harder for the microbreweries to compete on price, but I don't think you can argue with that, can you? A good 9.5. And then would I buy it again? Silly question. Definitely. And as I mentioned earlier, this seems to be my go-to drink. Stick to what you know, but just sitting there, if you've only got time for 1 or 2 drinks, maybe at the airport before a flight, and you're in a good mood and you want a 0.0 drink, this is what I would go for. So hats off to Guinness. You're going to be hard to beat. I think you'll be top of the leaderboard for a good while. So there you have it. Guinness 0.0. It's going to be hard to beat. 46.5 points I believe it got, but hopefully you enjoyed this video. Many more to come. Got a big order of alcohol-free drinks coming. I think it's about 24 in total. So like, hype, subscribe and all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.